Hey guys, it's me, Mr. Minking, and today we are doing Dark Souls 2 Broken Straight Sword only. A very simple concept in my favorite Dark Souls trilogy game. The rules are simple. Broken Straight Sword is the only weapon I am able to do damage with. Infusions, weapon buffs, and Red Tearstone Ring are all allowed for this run. I won't be using Red Tearstone Ring as I am not confident enough to stay alive with it. However, I will also be sparingly using Poison Infusion and Poison Grease as it is far too powerful in DS2 for me to comfortably use it. All bosses will fall. There are 41 bosses total in this game, 32 in the base game, and 9 in the DLCs. I will be killing them all, as it's a challenge run, and it needs a little bit of a challenge. Now that the rules are in place, let's get into the run itself. We started as the warrior, as originally I was under the impression you could only buy the Broken Straight Sword from the Broken Merchant Hag, or you could pick it up from the Forest of the Fallen Giants in the area you get ambushed in. Thankfully, neither of those are required, and this just shows, since DS2 is the only game you don't have to farm for it, or kill a boss for it, DS2 is clearly the best Souls game in the trilogy. We get to Majula and grab the Estus Shard, then immediately head into Hyde's Tower to fight the Dragon Rider. I'm also imposing that I will allow dropping the Dragon Rider and also killing the Pursuer with the Ballista, as they're both fair game to me, as they're not really hard bosses anyways, and it's just time I don't really need to use. Don't worry, I will eventually ascetic the Pursuer again, but the Dragon Rider is going to stay swimming. The Dragon Rider falls into the water for an easy soul gain, and it's time to level up some in Majula. Entering the Forest of the Fallen Giants and get to the Cardinal Tower to blow up this wall, I grab the Estus Shard here in the forest where the first Pursuer encounter happens, and I die. I grab a few souls and then open the shortcut to the last giant, and speaking of the last giant, I went to upgrade my weapon to +1. And then I played hide and seek with this crystal lizard because the Broken Straight Sword is so short I couldn't hit it. Anyways, the last giant is an easy boss, so we just stay under his feet and he'll stomp. You just dodge into his legs, and when he swipes, you keep dodging around. After a couple rotations, you get stepped on for the only and first time in the fight, and then you finish him off. And that's the last giant done. I buy just enough items to get the Militia to move, and also acquire the covetous Serpent Silver Ring 1. Back to Majula to level, and then it's the Pursuer. Well, second time's the okay. Let's go drop the Dragon Rider off the cliff again, and we make the biggest mistake of the run. I put Hyde's Tower in New Game Plus, where later on you'll see was kind of an issue. We grabbed the ring I should have grabbed before putting it in New Game Plus, but I forgot to. And now it's back to the Pursuer, where I ballista him like he deserves. And then I get the Ring of Blades, which adds a flat damage boost to my weapon. Into the Lost Bastille, we grab some shards and have one of the funniest deaths I have had with 21,000 souls on me, which is a lot for early game. I grab this large shard here and then grab my souls before blowing up Macduff's wall and lighting the bonfire. Now I can get to +6. Back to Majula, I level up some, and head back to where Kale is to open up the Majula mansion for another Estus Shard. Down with the Cyanitis, I get the Bone Shard. Went and got the bonfire into Yes Girl's Town and said hi to Gavlin because he's a sexy beast. Then I rang the bell and went back to Majula as I'm still setting up. Hey, Rosabeth. Be honest, how many times did you do this room until you discovered there was a bonfire? I showed a friend of mine there was a bonfire here and he was just ecstatic that he'd never figured it out. We talk to this head and buy some gold resin for later. Further into the shaded woods, we kill the Cyanite and get the next Bone Shard. We see the sad Scorpion Man that's sad he can't get his wife's tail anymore, so we kill the wife because I want him to be sadder.
I miss my wife tails. I miss her a lot.
Also, I cut off one of her tails. I forgot this was in the game, and I wish they kept the tail weapons like Dark Souls 1, but she goes down like the bug she is instead. We get scanned by this fake cleric and get to Huntsman's Copse, where we learn we don't have enough faith or intelligence to use Dark Weapon. At least not quite yet. We still buy it, of course, so we don't have to come back. And then we head back into Them's town and kill the Flexile Sentry. It ain't too hard of a boss until the water rises up and makes you fat, but the Flexile Sentry turns into a Flexon Sentry. And we grab the bonfire into the Bastille and travel through it. We get to the Fragrant Branch and then die to the Pursuer and finally attack the Sentinels. One goes down, the second to follow, and when you only have one of them, it's a piece of cake. I grab this bonfire and immediately head down to kill the Lost Sinner. This is my favorite of the 4 Old Lord Soul fights, as she's brutal and she hops around a lot. But of course, the Lost Sinner gets a broken sword beatdown and becomes the Lost Loser.
I decided to then go fight the gargoyles as well to finish off the area, but first we have to fight this pursuer, and he is tough, I can say. But a couple of well-timed swings, and the pursuer is pursued. The gargoyles were rough since I don't think they can be poisoned, and I still don't have dark weapon at this point for some reason. So I'm dealing with the basic weapon while 3 are on the field, and a couple of life gems crunched like a lifesaver, much like a Jolly Rancher, and sucked on like a Tootsie Pop until victory is finally mine from these flying stony bastards. And now I have dark weapon equipped. So the way spell buffs work in this game is based on the weapon's AR. So no matter how much intelligence I have outside of the base spell buff requirements, I do not get any more damage buff. However, increasing intelligence in this case increases the duration to a max of 99 seconds at 24 intelligence for dark weapon. It's different for every spell. For instance, when I get Sunlight Blade later on, I won't increase my faith past 56, so I do only have it for 63 seconds, but if I increased my faith to level 54, it would max out at 99 seconds. That's how it works for spell buffs. I don't think it's the same thing for resins. Now then, here's the mistake I made earlier. To get to the old Dragon Slayer, I'll have to defeat every single enemy, or get lucky and run past. More on that later on, as I give up here and decide to go fight the chariot. Of course, first you gotta fight this red phantom first, and I actually quite like this fight. It's a fast fight, so there isn't really much to naysay about it, but the chariot on top is that you get to turn a horse into glue. Here's our current stats. We head back to Huntsman's Copse, of course, and we kill this Scion Knight to open this chest for another bone dust that I kept calling a bone shard earlier. That's in Dark Souls 3, not in Dark Souls 2. We kill Merciless Rona, or Rowena, whatever her name is, and open this bonfire up, and then it's on to the Skeleton Lords. This fight was a short one, as they normally aren't too oppressive anyways, and their minions are weak as they crowd up, and even though my sword's short, I can still hit them. Plus, apparently, you can actually backstab the main 3 lords, which is kinda hilarious. And of course, a final couple of swings and a backstab for the win ends the Skeleton Horde for the Skeleton Lords. Into Harvest Valley for the bonfire, and then immediately we head to Majula so we can head down the pit and make this... I said we make this jump, and we get down to the Royal Rat Vanguard. I get petrified, and I die, twice, but the third charms the time. And further down, we kill another Scion Knight, and another bone dust is acquired. We head down, grab the bonfire in the gutter, and go back with the fragrant branch of Yor to grab the Estus shard in the area between Hides and No Man's Wharf, where the elephant guy is. Through the gutter, and into the gulch, and into Rotten's boss fight, which I actually had trouble with because I'm bad at this boss. But a couple of wet slaps, and a couple of thin slices cut off, turns the Rotten into the Finished, which is 2 Lord Souls down. I then go and get the Estus shard I forgot about in the Huntsman's Copse, and it's finally into Harvest Valley to grab the chunks I need to upgrade my weapon. The cute Covetous Demon tried to stop me, but it was a quick fight, and I waste no time in burning the windmill before getting into a fight with Mommy Mitha. She called me her little heat rack. I do my best impression of that one dude on Reddit wearing the frog head and parrying boss in Elden Ring, before finally killing Mitha and moving on. And finally, Iron Frickin' Keep. I unironically love this area. It forces you to move slow and has you having to plan your next move, and also an invader player invaded me. Here's the full thing. Yeah, they left. I love you, Morong. It took me a few tries, but my first successful attempt at getting into the boss fog, excluding the aura damage, I no-hit the boss, which was very fun. I also did kill the pursuer here for the Ring of Blades 1, but we'll get into that in a second. I just want to mention that in the editing of this video, you can kind of watch the smelter demon play out for a while. Uh, a lot of stuff has happened. When I was editing the video, I had taken a break. It was saved, and I got to about this point in the actual thing, and I saved it. I had to use the restroom. I came back, and my computer had stopped working. Of course, I went through all the stuff, checking everything, and it turns out to be the GPU. So I had to buy one of those, which was like $300. Prior to that, the same day, like 6, 7 hours earlier, my car's serpentine belt had come off. Not broke, come off. So while editing this, in the same exact day, two things that were extremely expensive happened. And I didn't really know what to do. So I've had this on the back burner for almost 3 weeks now. And finally, I'm able to edit it. And I'm putting this little addendum, I think it's called addendum, here to say just stay tuned for a soon announcement of something else that will happen in the coming weeks. It's a video announcement, not my video, it's for a friend of mine. And a little shout out I'll give around that same time. But until then, continue on the video. Past me. Through the Iron Keep, Part 2. I died to some of the enemies, of course, but eventually I did finally make it to the old Iron Keep. And while there isn't too much to say about this boss fight or the run back to begin with, I did almost die in the last bit, so it was kind of funny to me. And because I'm in the Rat Covenant, after killing the Old Iron King, I go to Doors of Pharaohs, and I get to the boss with ease without triggering a single enemy. However, I do die once or twice to the boss. I do hate this boss because I have this disease called skill issue, and it's terminal. It's so terminal that when fighting the Abyss Watchers in Dark Souls 3, I got so mad I genuinely rage quit during my Broken Straight Sword run, which is the first time I've rage quit in any of these Souls games in a long time. I don't know if that tells something about me or about Dark Souls 3. I will prevail in it eventually, and Dark Souls 3 will get a Broken Straight Sword run, but for now, let's just finish off the Royal Rat Authority. And like that, he goes down. Then I go to the Things Betwixt for this Estus shard, and immediately head to Seldora, where I wasted no time whatsoever to... Oh, Magus is already dead. Huh, that wasn't too bad. I'm of course kidding. Magus and Congregation was very much annoying to fight, as the enemies kept blocking me, and the healers kept smiting me. But even so, I prevailed and won for a nice Titanite slab. We killed this crossbow by. And we continued on to the boss fight of the giant enemy spider. I'm not going to do the Germa thing. I can't do that. I'm still a little sick. This is my second favorite of the Lord Souls, though, and I also just like spiders. Fun fact, when I was younger, I used to draw spiders on the walls of my grandma's house, and then I had to clean up the walls, of course, so I was like 5. I was given paper, and I drew on paper. I drew spiders with hundreds of legs. You can technically call them millipedes, but I, for some reason, thought spiders with lots of legs were cool. But because I was so young, I didn't know the difference between regular paper and important paper. So I drew on important documents. It's the only time I can recall getting spanked. But to this day, I am the only person in my immediate family near me that isn't afraid of spiders, to the point I've picked up black widows barehanded just to put them outside. Even fellow coworkers hate me because I'll pet daddy long legs on the side of the little overhang for our little break area where people smoke at, and I'll pick up spiders just because I can. They hate it. I also got in trouble at work because of it. Anyways, Freya's dead. And that's the lost bud. Ah! We clear Hyde's tower again, only for me to realize it took 10 whole friggin' hits to kill the dragon, which was absolutely possible without clearing the area. I feel stupid. Anyways, fake Ornstein the Twink goes down, and it's on to Dringlake Castle now. And the twin Dragon Riders die in 27 hits, which is more hits than words I have for this boss.
hate them. Yeah, I don't want to go in there yet. Nah, you know what? No, it's still scary looking. Alright, maybe third time's... Okay, alright, courage up, courage up, courage up. No, no, still too scary. Alright, maybe. Okay, I think I can do it now. Nope, nope, horrible, nope. Too much. It's too much for me, Dark Flame, it's too much. Alright, I'm sorry, it's too much. Alright, one more time. Maybe. Nah, it's just too scary. It's just too scary. Okay, let's do this. One more time. One more time.
You'll be fine.
Oh, it's too scary. It's too scary, Dark. It's too scary. Oh no! 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 I did it wrong. No!
You locked yourself inside. No, you actually said it.
Oh my god! I'm so stupid.
You fucked yourself. You fucked yourself.
When does the joke go too far? I asked. That's when the creature arrived. We acquired the Gower's Ring, which will come in handy later. And then it's on to the Looking Glass now. I love this boss. I love the way he summons additional support. I love the attack patterns. I love the shield blocking spells. Oh, I just love this boss, guys. Honestly, he's one of the best base game bosses to exist in Dark Souls 2. I almost will say the entire trilogy, had it not been Madir existing. And I will not hear his slander. Alright, he's a great boss. Anyways, I shattered his mirror, and it's time for the most beautiful, yet annoying area for the challenge run, also known as Shrine of Amana. So, we're skipping this part of the video and immediately showing the Demon of Song dying. And as I said in my last video, when I made the Broken Straight Sword for Dark Souls 1, if you want to see everything, the entire playlist will be in the description. That's the reason why I record every second of the game. I like doing it that way, and it feels better and more honest to me. Lead through the Undead Crypt and fight Velstadt, who, on the first attempt, kills me. But, on the second attempt, as if it was meant to be, as if fate had aligned, the final blow I struck that killed Velstadt also broke my broken straight sword. Very poetic. But I'm not a poet. So, we continue through and grab the King's Ring, followed by killing the Cyan Knight, and going through Aldi's Keep to get to the Guardian Dragon, which is after I finally started using infused weapons. Which, I didn't know you could buff infused weapons with spells. At least, some of them. It's a game changer, man. Another W for Dark Souls 2. I love this game. I go back to the Gulch to fight the giants to start the DLC pieces, and also start this man's quest to start the Dark Lurker fight, and with this I learn how to parry super good actually, and get all the altars on fire, and then die to Dark Lurker. I actually die so many times I just quit for the day because it was already getting nighttime. So the first thing I go and do instead is fight the big dragon, where I pull a Miyazaki and get off to his toes. Finally, we get the Memory Stone, and I go into the Giant's memory to kill the Giant Lord. He's pretty easy. Just ignore the fact I have the armor on of that one guy on, and I kill the Giant a couple times to level up my faith to 36, as I mentioned earlier. Since I knew I needed a Sunlight Blade for Dark Lurker, since I'm not good at Dark Lurker's fight. Well, I guess a need is a technicality, but who cares? First, I did grab all the DLC keys so I can actually start them. Then I go and die to the Dark Lurker again. Then I get some bonfire aesthetics, and eventually decide to just go fight Vendrick. And I think I have the first ever recorded death to Vendrick. Don't worry, I get him back in the next attempt. I grab the first bonfire of Broom Tower, and then go to the Shulva DLC to get another boss out of the way. I also grab the Lightning Ring, and then grab Flint's Ring. And finally, I go fight the trio that takes me 2 attempts. But I get this really, really funny parry riposte, and once it's finished, I get a backstab against the afflicted grave robber. Because I got good at parrying, I parried the stupid Fate Havel until he dies. And I expected it to be harder, and I was stressed until I beat it.
Then I go and die to Dark Lurker again. Of course, after that, I immediately went to Alana, who summoned Veldstadt. Little does she know, I actually wanted her to summon Veldstadt because it's less likely for her to summon others. I don't know if that's true or not, it's just something I like to see. What a dummy she is. She goes down, and Veldstadt dies with her. And finally, it's time for the slumbering dragon, Sin. Has anyone ever noticed that it's Sin weirdly? Anyways, he kills me the same way twice. But I pull out my ultimate move called Getting Good, and he falls. And now, I'm the Dragon Lair. The Dragon Slayer. We grab a couple of bonfires around Eliam Lois. So, we grab the Eye of the Priestess and fight Ava. And then we grab the first knight, grab the key to the Frigid Outskirts, grab the second knight alongside the Fire Clutch Ring, and we die in Frigid Outskirts. That's fine. We die to the boss in Frigid Outskirts next. Knowing that I'm out of my league right now, I go and grab the repair spell from the Shaded Ruins and buy a bunch of repair powder if needed. And I grab the Dark Clutch Ring. I died to these two King's Pets once again and kill the Giant Lord for more repair powder and decide yet again to fight the Dark Lurker. I actually get the Dark Lurker to literally one single hit and die, which is very funny for your enjoyment, but I am slowly raging as a ball of fire is inside my chest. I think I fought the Dark Lurker enough times to despawn the enemies, but I won before I could actually test that theory, and no, I'm not going to go back. I used a Bright Bug against the Dark Lurker and won that same attempt, but I did almost die to the spawned version, and its Fireball didn't go off, thankfully. Here are my current stats now, and this is the final time I will show them. Finally, we head back to the outskirts, and the King's Pet Blood falls to me. And since now I'm dealing with one of them, it's a lot easier. Of course, that doesn't stop me from making stupid mistakes, and still nearly dying a couple times, but eventually I became victorious against the two cats. And you know what? Hot take. Frigid Outskirts is 100% fair. It's meant for multiplayer, and the people who hate it either don't like playing the game and all that it has to offer, including its tools, or they just don't have friends. It doesn't make it unfair, okay? It's like if I said DS3 was unfair because you have to fight a boss before continuing onwards in the game. It's how the game was designed. It was designed to have a tutorial in DS3, and this area is designed for multiplayer. Anyways, I died to the mosh pit of the Ivory King, so I decided to grab the third knife for the mosh pit, and then I first tried the boss part. This boss is a super fun fight, and I love it, honestly. It's such a cinema fight with a great opening, and it's easily the top 5 for me in this game. But with the boss going down, that's the entirety of Eliam Lois down, and it's onto the Broomtown. We go downwards and grab the scepter, and it's time for Fume Knight. I don't have a lot of words for him, other than this fight is just fun, and I love the addition of if you're wearing Veldstadt's helmet, he turns to second phase immediately. And I know I've said it a lot in this video, but DS2 is just peak, man. These DLC fights are some of the best FromSoft has ever made. And the Fume Knight being such a fun fight alongside the Ivory King being such a fun fight, and then there's Sir Alon later on, it's just amazing. But, alas, Fume Knight eventually goes down to a broken straight sword. Okay, I need to get this out right now. I don't know what the deal is with Iron Passage. I don't know what the argument is. I hear people say this place sucks, this place is used for multiplayer, this place is this or that, but just use Alluring Skulls. The Sweet Kitty in Majula sells them for an infinite amount after you enter Drangleic Castle. And every enemy I can see here has an affinity for going for the skulls. Either you guys don't like to use the tools of DS2, or you just forget. I mean, I didn't know for a while, but the fact this is going on like almost 10 years is crazy to me. As for Blue Smelter, he's made of magic, not fire. Just wear magic-resistant armor, or don't get hit if you're good enough at the game, and you're good. He's honestly not that hard. I actually like this fight. I genuinely hate when people call this area unfair, because it's not unfair. You have all these things you're given. I don't understand it. I see people making like 10, 15, 30 minutes of videos about how it's unfair. Just use what the game gives you. Sorry, I just had to get that off my chest. It really annoys me when I see that same post when I'm scrolling through Reddit or I'm scrolling through YouTube because I watch Dark Souls 2 videos and I see Iron Passage is the worst. I know this is the challenge run, I get it, so I'm sorry I shouldn't put my own opinions in certain areas like this, but it's just so annoying. Surulon took me a few tries. I summoned to clear the area before the boss fight, and after a while of getting lucky and dodging perfectly, I would still die to Surulon. I didn't summon for Surulon's boss fight, just for the area, and I think I did it like 4 times before I finally got into a nice good groove, dodging through his attacks, evading some of his thrusts, and finally beating the samurai. Which, a wonderful fight for a wonderful ending to one of my favorite DLCs in this game. And finally, the moment we've all been waiting for, the final fight of the last 3 bosses, Throne Watcher and Defender, Nashandra, and Aldia. Throne Watcher and Throne Defender go down quite easily, as they aren't too hard to deal with if you can get one down fast enough. And of course, I have a bright bug to do that, so once one goes down, the other is soon to follow. As for Nashandra, I already have the cursed ring, so I don't lose more than like 25% health, so the cursed things don't really bother me all too much, other than the life drain effect they have. So I stay behind her as she does the attacks, the swipe that she stops me from being behind her, I just walk around, and she eventually goes down like her husband. And finally, Aldia, Scholar of the First Sin. It took a bit longer than the other 2 fights, but of course he doesn't actually die, but I still defeat him. Thus, ending the second game of Broken Straight Sword, leaving Dark Souls 3 as the final contender, as the third in the trilogy. And as this cutscene plays, I want to thank everyone for watching. This video took a lot longer to make than expected, alongside the editing and actually playing it. Considering I died a lot to the Dark Lurker, I'm surprised the in-game time only took me 15.5 hours to finish the full game. But the editing obviously took me a lot longer, as I do it myself and I work night shift and don't always have time to do things. Not to mention the fact my car broke down and my computer's GPU killed itself. Plus, writing the script alone was at least 3 hours to make sure I had watched through everything and got what I wanted to add. Anyways, once again, thank you for watching. I hope I see you in the Dark Souls 3 video, and have a good night, burn down some Minecraft villagers, and have a wonderful day.